Imagine going about your day, completely unaware that a camera is recording your every move. And they didn't know that a camera was watching them. You'll see the funniest, strangest, and most shocking moments people never thought anyone would witness. The best part? Every second was caught on camera, so now the whole world gets to see it. Who would have thought that one tiny furry creature could cause such chaos in a bakery? This is one of the funniest things I've ever seen caught on CCTV. She was so lost in thought that she ended up in someone else's garage in the most unbelievable way. A woman behind the wheel was busy recording a story and didn't notice what was happening on the road. Luckily, the truck driver was alert at that very moment. Sometimes I wish I could move to some tropical paradise. But after seeing this clip, no thanks. Imagine waking up for a glass of water only to find a giant snake waiting right next to your bed. A real-life Finding Nemo moment is happening right inside her apartment. Even with years of experience, mistakes can happen to the best of them. He misjudged the height of the bridge and hit it with his truck. He tried to explain to his wife that he had a rough day and couldn't make it to their planned dinner. She didn't believe him until he showed her this footage. Before we continue, I'd like to ask you to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and tell us which country you're watching from. We'd love to know where most of our amazing audience comes from. Installing solar panels on the house went terribly wrong. The worker fell from a high ladder, but luckily it was over a fish pond, so he came out without any injuries. What do you think? Did he manage to impress this girl? I have to admit, he impressed me. They came to a friend's place to chill after a long day, not expecting to experience something they'd never forget. The water filter exploded, turning the house into an indoor water park. I'm sure this has happened to everyone at least once in their life. I have to admit, it's happened to me quite a few times. They spent a long time trying to remove this swinging tree, and in the end, it fell all by itself. Luckily, no one got hurt. I think even the best engineers in the world would be speechless if they saw what this guy built. This will wake her up better than a cup of coffee. When they got home from work, they noticed a huge hole in the wall. They thought burglars had broken in, but the security camera revealed it was actually their mischievous furry pets. This is exactly why I always liked being on top when I was a kid. I had a feeling something like this could happen someday. He was sitting in the dentist's waiting room when the ceiling collapsed. Luckily, it was made of lightweight materials. He was fixing the garage when the ladder slipped, leaving him hanging. His grandchildren tried to put it back but couldn't, so he ended up jumping. It wasn't as high as it looked. He went to get food for everyone, and it ended up costing twice as much. A little boy went to the store for some chips and accidentally knocked over a shelf. Terrified, he started crying, thinking the shopkeeper would be angry. But she was such a kind-hearted woman that she hugged him to comfort him, showing that not everything in life is about money or things. We're more prepared for winter now than ever before. He went to grab another chair because the first one was uncomfortable. But when he tried to sit on the new one, it collapsed too. Now he's lost his appetite entirely. He's performing unbelievable juggling tricks with a golf club before the swing. They set up a spy camera in the apartment to see what their cat does when they're not home. The little cute kitty quickly noticed it and realized there was an intruder in her space. His girlfriend offered to help carry the TV, but he thought he could do it alone and instantly regretted it. Something strange is happening with the weather. The winds were so strong that they easily blew the roof off this huge building. This girl came up with a clever way to get away without a fine. Do you think she managed to pull it off this time?
Nobody listens to me.
I'm not gonna get a ticket.
How do you think that you're going to get a ticket?
I'm gonna show my. I'm not
No,
gonna
you're
get
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I am.
No, you're not.
Watch me. Just watch.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Officer Jones, MPD. You know what I pulled you over?
No.
Alright, well, I got you going 65 and a 45 back there, okay? You have your license or registration on you?
I actually don't have it in this car, but what if I show you these?
Man, it's 2024. I can see on the internet anytime.
A camera in a luxury car showroom captured an unbelievable theft. They pulled it off in broad daylight, and none of the staff were alert because they never thought anyone would dare do something like this. The main quality we need to have while driving is patience. This man is everyone's favorite at the market. Every day is a little show with him, and he manages to make everyone laugh with his clumsiness. Some people really love to test their luck. The only explanation I can think of is that he just doesn't hear very well. The dog noticed an unfamiliar dog walking with its owner and ran towards them. But his owner stopped him, and the dog obeyed, returning calmly.
4, 3, sit down. What did I say? What did I say?
She doesn't need a better alarm clock. It's hard to tell who scared who more here. They did not know that camera was watching them. But we've all been young and mischievous at some point. He's got talent for football and scoring goals. But after that shot, will he dare go inside to get the ball? Someone in this car is obviously straight out of a Final Destination movie. She should be paid for this. She was a real tourist attraction. Going shopping with a mischievous cat is something you definitely shouldn't try. Here's why. Being a parent is one of the most beautiful things, but it also has its tough moments. This mom is a pro. She quickly figured out how to calm her child.
About 10 minutes.
They thought a couple of YouTube tutorials would be enough to do it themselves. Instant regret followed. The cats had a panic attack and chaos ensued. They sensed something that the humans couldn't. When we rush, we usually make mistakes. That's why we need to stay focused and take things slowly. There's enough time in the day for all our tasks. Sensitive tasks shouldn't be given to clumsy people to handle. If his goal was to make it to the national news, he definitely succeeded. This might have been a sign that he should switch to some healthier drinks. The teacher clearly had a tough day, and the additional stuff made it even harder, but at least now he's smiling. This is proof that tough times can actually bring us closer, erasing differences between us and awakening empathy, just like in this moment. They did not know that camera was watching them. I'm sure they're not fans of winter. When you think it can't get any worse, remember, it always can. A few moments ago, they were right where almost the entire hill collapsed into the sea. Today, they were very lucky. This girl leaned in to blow out her birthday candles. Instead, she managed to set her hair on fire. The man was calmly walking through his living room, nothing unusual in sight. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed above him. Out of nowhere, the cat crashed straight through the ceiling from the attic. A store worker was packing beer into a portable beach cooler for a customer. But the moment he lifted it, the handle snapped and the beer went crashing everywhere. This worker just had the luckiest day of his life. In a split second, he dodged a massive metal coil that nearly crushed him. Two massive ships were closing in on each other, tension rising with every second. Everyone braced for the deafening crash that seemed inevitable. But at the very last moment, they narrowly swerved and avoided disaster. It was a normal drive like any other day until he turned the corner. Two trucks were side by side, and only a hard brake saved him from a sure crash. A small truck was loaded with piles of styrofoam, ready to be unloaded. But suddenly it caught fire, melting and vanishing piece by piece as it fell. A truck was backing up, unaware of the pole standing right behind it. The impact snapped it down, and it crashed straight onto a parked car. A massive cargo ship, likely steered by a rookie, got way too close to the shore. Moments later, it was causing chaos and destruction along the coastline. This yacht was lowered into the water a bit faster than planned. The cable snapped, and it dropped straight into the sea with a splash. This giant old crane had probably been standing there for far too long. The moment they decided to bring it down, the collapse was massive. Who would have thought mowing the lawn could be this dangerous? One moment he was cutting grass, the next the mower exploded like he hit a bomb. This was almost his last race. While the athlete sprinted past the finish line toward the padded wall, he slipped underneath the barrier. Instead of stopping, he flew straight into a canal, but luckily came out okay. Just as the motorcyclist decided to pass the truck, they reached an intersection where the truck was turning. In an instant, boom, it swept the rider away, but miraculously he survived. They started up the old plane for a test, and it began billowing smoke. Then the propeller flew off as if it had had enough. This fish clearly outgrew its tiny tank. It got ambitious, and one big leap later, it was out of the aquarium entirely. Even the biggest machines and strongest chains aren't always enough. When it's meant to happen, it just does. In a single move, he managed to showcase all his culinary skills at once. In this warehouse, the goods decided to organize themselves. Suddenly, a whole section started collapsing on its own. One piece even gave the security camera a solid whack. Talk about a self-checkout gone wild. The excavator carried an outdoor toilet and braked late at a red light. It fell right onto the taxi. Talk about a crappy stop. He tried to help by towing, but only made things worse. The off-road SUVs were crossing a river, and one flipped, but luckily rolled back onto its wheels. A sunny day and some foam in the work truck seemed harmless. Then the foam burst, turning the cabin into a sticky, chaotic mess. the roof above the pool slowly starting to collapse. Then, in an instant, the entire roof comes crashing down, creating utter chaos. The truck brakes suddenly, leaving the motorcyclist with nowhere to go. In an instant, he was knocked to the ground, the crash sending shockwaves through the quiet street. The camera shows a man approaching his parked pickup. Another truck screeches and swerves just in time, narrowly avoiding him. The girl was peacefully feeding the fish. Suddenly, a huge animal appeared, clearly crazy for food. It sent the fish, the girl, and anything else nearby scattering in every direction. This old building had clearly had enough. It toppled over like a house of cards, sending debris everywhere. Ladders slipped off the fire truck and slid straight into the intersection like they had a mind of their own. This guy definitely got the job through connections. He swung the forklift too fast and spilled everything like a pro at chaos management. When two determined women team up, nothing stands a chance. They tried to empty a kiddie pool, shaking and tipping it, but the water stayed put. One even fell in multiple times, yet they kept at it like heroes in a never-ending battle against stubborn water. This proves that a fast yacht and waves aren't always as glamorous as they seem. Sometimes they just equal chaos and a very wet ride. One bad idea can also come with a hefty price tag. Let's hope this was the first and last time they unload a full truck from a ship with a crane. One wrong move, and chaos erupt in an instant. A huge marble slab for a fancy kitchen met some clueless installers. The moment they tried to set it, it shattered into pieces like it had a vendetta. A woman in a tiny car cut off a huge truck. Luckily, the driver's reflexes kept disaster at bay. A lightning bolt slammed into the car on the highway, freezing the moment in terror. He was deep into a VR role-playing game, brawling in a virtual tavern. One wild punch later, and his fist connected with the TV, turning his epic fight into real-life chaos. It was an incredibly stressful situation with danger written all over it. But thankfully, no one was hurt in the end. He was driving normally on the highway when suddenly a pickup came straight at him in the wrong lane. By sheer luck, a head-on collision was narrowly avoided. A car plowed into a small shop, smashing everything in its path. Even the worker inside was swept off her feet in the chaos. This is the true definition of someone being cursed with bad luck. They had the bin ready for the waste. But the moment it started pouring out, it splashed everywhere and filled everything in seconds. A man on a quad recklessly bypassed the train barriers, with his poor dog running behind him. In the very last moment, they narrowly escaped a tragedy. This mower clearly knows how to use a lawnmower for more than just grass. He does it with style and precision, like it's a talent show act. This truck driver thought the ice would help him drift the curve like a pro. Turns out he was wrong. He slid straight into the guardrail. The warehouse worker with a forklift was having a really bad day. One wrong move, and an entire shelf came crashing down. The cyclist sped downhill through a narrow forest trail, adrenaline pumping as everything seemed perfect. Suddenly, he came face to face with a massive bull sporting huge horns. He braked so hard he fell over, only for the bull to get spooked and run away, leaving both equally terrified. This delivery guy is probably on his first day at work. He managed to break everything like it was part of the training. They tried loading a small excavator onto a truck using wooden planks. One side gave out, and the excavator toppled over like a clumsy gymnast. This snowboarder showed true skill, riding with precision as a massive avalanche roared behind him. Against all odds, he managed to outrun it and escape. He thought he was a pro drifter, right up until his rear wheel tore off. The truck was clearly overloaded. When dumping the sand, the entire vehicle lifted into the air, not just the trailer. Luckily, once the load was off, it settled back down without tipping over. This is every fisherman's dream, a woman out on the water with a catch bigger than herself. She managed to reel in an enormous fish, leaving everyone in awe. Walking on this pier isn't exactly the smartest idea right now. The huge waves are taking people down like it's an extreme water park. This worker definitely deserves a raise, and maybe some extra time off to recover from all the stress he's endured. The lumberjack started sawing a massive tree, and the first chunk landed right on the roof below, smashing through it. Seeing no other choice, he kept cutting, sending each piece crashing through the house like a chaotic game of Jenga. She was supposed to get an injection, but she ran away from the clinic. While fixing the truck, one guy was tasked with holding the cab up with a cable, literally his only job. Turns out he wasn't strong enough, and the cab tipped forward anyway, giving him a crash course in responsibility.